I'd like to, on behalf of Concordia, welcome everyone to Sustainability Today, a Concordia event in partnership with Rubicon. I'm Hannah Dalmet, as Nate mentioned. I'm Concordia's Senior Director of Partnerships. We have a lot of great conversations to pack into just a few hours, and I'm looking forward to playing host for us all today. For those of you who are joining us through Rubicon or on behalf of one of our speakers and don't yet know Concordia, it's great to have you here. We're a New York-based nonprofit predicated on the belief that pressing global issues like those related to climate and sustainability require cross-sector solutions. We leverage our membership community and the Convene, Connect, Create model of engagement to strengthen that partnering ecosystem that Nate spoke to and establish impact-oriented partnerships, as well as elevate the best ideas to a global audience of changemakers. We're so excited to be here this afternoon with our partners at Rubicon to advance these important conversations about environmental sustainability and how innovative partnerships in cities across America can support our domestic and global agenda. And I want to emphasize that our speakers today are coming from all over the states. I'm in Iowa. This is not just a conversation for New York or for Atlanta or for LA, right? It's everyone coming together in a nonpartisan fashion. So Sustainability's Today objective is to highlight leaders and disruptors that seek to achieve a more sustainable future and advance greater environmental sustainability in and across America. We spent the morning hosting an off-the-record collaboration of sessions through Concordia's Partnership Accelerator model and discussed meaningful progress around things like carbon neutrality, circular economies, and ESG reporting alignment, as well as the role of GovTech and inclusive decision-making at the city level. And our afternoon portion of Sustainability Today, to which you're all gathered, will explore a number of key themes related to sustainability in the United States, ranging from smart cities, regenerative agriculture, and America's energy transition. We'll also have mini interventions from corporate leaders who are committed to accurate, transparent, and effective ESG reporting, sharing a best practice for other corporate entities to consider when designing their own public reporting. As with all things Concordia, we will explore these themes in a nonpartisan fashion and really look at opportunities for cross-sector collaboration. And as with all things Rubicon, we're placing a premium on innovation and city-level solutions. Before we start, a few notes from the SpotMe platform. You can use the SpotMe platform to connect directly with representatives of those organizations that are speaking to learn more about their work, or Concordia members can leverage Concordia Connect to help set up bilateral meetings on shared partnering objectives. Simply find the search tool on the main page in the upper right-hand corner, just above the image of the event. We do want you engaging with this conversation as well, so please use the chat and the Q&A features to dive deeper into subjects or share your related work. And this will, of course, be monitored by Concordia staff members who might follow up if there's more ways that we can engage on what you're sharing. And finally, you can take your comments onto social media, tagging @Concordia, @Rubicon, and using hashtag Concordia21 and hashtag Sustainability Today. So with all that settled, let's get started. Corporate sustainability work has embraced divergent perspectives in recent years, incorporating both cutting-edge technology from digital innovators as well as long-established practices of sustainable living from Indigenous communities that have embraced them for generations. At Concordia, we believe that we must adopt a balanced and long-term approach going forward that incorporates both innovative and traditional perspectives. So this opening discussion will do just that. It's going to highlight trends from both perspectives that are redefining what it can mean to engage in corporate sustainability work and lays the foundation for the rest of today's programming. I'm pleased to quickly turn the conversation over to Eric Loeb, Executive Vice President of Government Affairs at Salesforce, and Valerie Mohl, CFO for the East Bay Community Foundation. Over to you, Val.
Thank you so much. I'm just delighted to be here with Eric. Honored to be in this fireside chat. And Eric, maybe next year we'll actually be next to the fire together.
I look forward to that.
But I want to get started and ask you to share what are some ways in which the tech space in particular has integrated sustainability work into tools and strategies for businesses across industries?
Great. Well, Val, thanks so much. It's terrific to be together today, even virtually. Look forward to that in person. Also, just a thanks to Concordia, both for convening this and inviting us to be part of this great lineup of speakers, but also love the focus that you have for this event on your nature-based solutions and planting a tree for every registrant that is joining the session today. That was just awesome. Means a lot for Salesforce, of course. We, one of the founding members of the 1 Trillion Trees Initiative. So pleased to see that. Val, to your question, just to start, I mean, clearly companies across the tech landscape, they can bring so many different innovative tools to sustainability. And I always think that it's important before you start with the innovation process to start with a pretty clear vision of values and purpose behind what you're going to do and ethics, and then have the innovation and the solutions flowing from that. That certainly ties into a longstanding belief from Salesforce that business is and can be a great platform for change, the greatest platform for change, and that we should work and understand and address the interests of all stakeholders. Certainly shareholders, it's always important, but so many more stakeholders, our employees, customers, partners, communities, and for the conversation today, the planet, the environment as a stakeholder. Look, we have seen during this past year with COVID how much technology can do to address some of the most pressing issues. And for climate, we should all be thinking big. We certainly can. Salesforce is doing that in a variety of ways. I'll highlight some. First, one near and dear to my heart is on policy. And this year, we took an accelerated view of our views on climate and made climate policy part of our priority public policy platform, stating what those priorities are, including more specific areas where we're going to advocate on consistent science-based climate policies. The reasoning for that becoming more clear is evident with all the different opportunities coming up this year. But going back in time and to what Hannah was saying about ESG, since 2011, we've been reporting on our sustainability initiatives and our metrics and putting this at the same level as financial reporting. And the process of this is where we get into some of the innovation. We were looking at our internal experience on working on this ESG reporting. And from that, we created a new product. We found new ways that could reduce this 6-month time period to about 6 weeks to gather all the data using the Salesforce platform. So we created Sustainability Cloud. And now this is a tool that can help other companies embed sustainability into the core of their business process. Using this product, you can much more quickly track and analyze and report on your environmental data. And then, of course, most important, take tangible steps to achieve carbon neutrality. And other innovative areas, you take data visualization capabilities like Tableau and Tableau dashboards. You can then visualize your sustainability data, and you can find trends and the most strategic areas to improvement. So those are just a few items I'd give as examples, some around technology, some around policy, but all of this is part of what we can do, but then also hope for what we can do to work with others to support their efforts. So, just a few thoughts. And Val, I'd love to turn a question to you, and just if you can just talk about your views, how Indigenous leaders are bringing traditional practices of sustainable living to light as real accessible solutions for communities. Val, I think you're on mute.
I am so sorry. But thank you, Eric. Thank you for your answer. I love how you integrated a holistic approach. It's not just one area, but also policy and ESG. And that's what I'm going to build on. I would add that just by way of a little background, I am of Cherokee ancestry, and I have worked in my career with over 100 tribal Indigenous nations here in America. That being said, I do not speak for all tribal leaders or all Indigenous nations, but I have been very involved in our community. And what I will say in answer to this question is sort of building on what you started to speak to, Eric, which is really that integrated approach, the holistic approach. I'm going to add a few words to sustainability that I think really resonate from the Native historic and current culture. And those two words are balance and regenerative practices. And I'll start with regeneration. Sustainability is a great concept, and I'm glad that we're speaking about it. But if we had been practicing sustainability all along, then we could probably continue to simply talk about sustainability. Technically, sustainability means that we're not using the resources today that are needed for tomorrow. unfortunately, we have not been utilizing that approach. And when I say we, I mean the entire globe. And so what we need now is we need healing. We actually need renewal and healing. So I'm going to use a little bit of bad grammar, but not doing bad things is simply not enough. We have to be proactive. We have to be intentional. We have to, in a crisis mode, understand how we heal both our planet and our people. When we talk about balance, that goes back to ESG. When Eric talked about policy, that's such an important part. We cannot focus on one area and not other areas and think that we are going to then achieve a holistic, complete solution. I'll give a quick example. I think we all of us who are concerned about climate can support what Tesla is doing in terms of electrification of automobiles and really creating that movement. However, recently, one of my colleagues in the finance space led a shareholder activism movement, asking them to really look at their wage gap. They were paying their women and people of color less, and then also look at their board diversity. And to their credit, they listened to the shareholder requests. But my point is, you can't focus on the environment and ignore what is impacting communities, especially communities of color, because they're fused together. And so moving forward, I want to bring that indigenous wisdom of looking at our relationship with the creator and the people and the earth together. So there's no more siloed efforts. It's all about the holistic approach.
Val, thanks so much. I mean, your answer, it's meaningful to me on a lot of levels. One of the things that we were talking about before is that I'm honored at Salesforce to be the executive sponsor for our employee equality group, WinForce, which is the worldwide indigenous network of diversities. And WinForce is really active on policy work, including around climate. And so it's just super interesting answer. Perhaps just build on that. You started to talk about a balanced approach, but can you go further, just elaborate? What does a balanced approach of sustainability look like to you? How can the tech and traditional approaches learn from each other, come together and work on creating a more lasting and more comprehensive model for sustainability for all stakeholders?
Absolutely. Well, I think the last phrase is very important, Eric. All stakeholders. It has to be a collaborative effort, and we have to have difficult conversations. Right now, there are phrases like white privilege and white phrases that cause people to react in negative ways. And what we have to understand is we are not attacking any individual. We are all in this together. We're looking at systems that are broken. And so I believe that part of the solution overall is equitable distribution. And that equitable distribution applies to not just wealth, but also power and voice. And in order to really attain that balance with our planet and our people, there has to be a reworking of our systems. And if I could give a quick example, if we look at education, data shows that Black, Indigenous, and Brown students are dropping out at 50% more than others. So a lot of philanthropists are attacking the problem, as they should, and they're working with students to help them succeed in the current system. I'm working with some colleagues, we're a little bit in stealth mode, but we're creating an opportunity to shift leadership, voice, ownership, so that decision makers are actually changing the educational system to be more applicable to all of those representative citizens of the US, because our current program and curriculum is pretty Eurocentric and maybe not culturally applicable to everyone. So instead of trying to work with students to fit into a broken system, let's fix the system. And that has to happen in all of our industries, not just finance, but education and public policy and real estate and tech. And I believe that when we all work together, it will then heal our communities, heal our planet, and that's where we're going to have the power to actually make change. And I would throw the same question back to you, Eric.
Great. Well, I'll just wrap it up quickly. So much of what you said is so powerful. I completely agree with the need to focus on equality and environmental justice. And and so you said it beautifully. And the only thing I'll finalize on that is just urgency as well. all this work and learning that we can bring together, we all do need to work with urgency. This next 10 years has to be the decade of action. And we need to put an extraordinary focus to be at full speed, running pace, sprinting pace within the next 5 years. The longer we wait, the steeper and the more dramatic the action that's going to be required. So let's all, come together. We're going to hear a lot today about this, but we need to continue and build this conversation, build our commitments, be bold. And there's so much this year of focus with different global multi-stakeholder events, UNGA, Climate Week, COP26. And we'll all learn together and take bold action to move the needle. Val, it's been great to be together today with you.
Thank you so much. It's been great meeting you and talking with you, Eric. And thank you to Concordia for all the work.
Great. Eric and Val, that was fantastic. 3 quick takeaways on my side. Sustainability cloud. Let's hear from those ESG flashpoints throughout today about how something like that can add value to their work. 2, anytime somebody starts speaking and they're on mute, I propose we plant an extra tree. And 3, balance in power and resources and the matter of urgency. All of this needs to be factored into every sustainability conversation or anything dealing with really the pressing global issues of our time.